Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. We'd been on that roof for 3 hours before things went to hell. From up top, the hospital looked like an island in the middle of a riot. The streets were jammed with cars, half abandoned, horns still blaring. People screamed, shoved, threw bottles. Somewhere past the bridge, something was burning hot enough to paint the sky orange. I had the rifle, MK-13, bolt action, chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum rounds, set up on the parapet. Parker, my spotter, sat on the pack beside me with his binos glued to his face. He was quiet as always, chewing gum like it was his only vice. We'd pulled this kind of overwatch before, crowd control, convoy escort, but it had never smelled like this. The air stank like spoiled meat, even though we were 6 stories up. ER ramp, left side, Parker said. His voice was calm, steady. Man in blue hoodie. See it? I glassed him. Mid-30s maybe, staggering toward the nurses trying to load a stretcher. His arms swung wrong, like his joints didn't get the memo. One nurse shouted for him to stop. He didn't. He lunged straight into her. Target, Parker said. I breathed out, set the reticle, and squeezed. Round went through the side of his head, and he crumpled. The nurse didn't even notice right away. She just kept shoving the stretcher inside, shoulder drenched red. Jesus, I muttered. That was the first one, not the last. At first we thought it was just another riot. The guard down on the street had their riot shields out, trying to keep a perimeter, but every few minutes someone broke through. I picked them off clean, one by one, like I'd been trained to. Center mass, neat little holes, except it didn't work the way it should have. One guy in a leather jacket took 3 rounds to the chest and still kept charging. He didn't even look surprised, just relentless. It wasn't until I shifted and tagged him between the eyes that he dropped for good. Parker didn't comment. He just called the next range, next wind hold. But I saw his jaw tighten. He knew something was off. The guards' comms were full of static and shouting. Crowd breach, Sector 4. We've got infection spreading. Then gunfire, close, panicked. The kind that says we're losing it. Through the scope, I saw a guardsman drop his shield and stagger, clutching at his arm. Blood soaked through the sleeve like ink in water. His buddy tried to drag him back. Then the bitten one turned and bit him, right in the throat. Not a fight, just fast, savage, like a starving dog. Target, Parker said again. My finger froze on the trigger. Those were our guys. Marines, Guard, didn't matter. They were green, American, fighting the same fight. I didn't want to believe what I was seeing. Target, Parker repeated, sharper this time. I put a round through the biter's skull. The buddy collapsed under him, screaming, blood spraying. A second later, he went still. Fuck, I whispered. My stomach twisted. The roof felt smaller after that, like we weren't above anything at all, just cornered with a better view. By 7, the power flickered. One by one, streetlights winked out, leaving only fires and headlights. The crowd noise got worse, higher pitched, like the city itself was panicking. My scope showed me everything I didn't want to see. People pounding on the hospital doors, fingernails tearing off as they clawed at glass. A kid, maybe 12, screamed until her voice cracked. Then something yanked her backward into the dark. I couldn't do a damn thing but watch. We kept firing when we had to, but every shot felt like bailing water from a sinking ship with a coffee mug. My box of ammo felt lighter by the hour. Parker kept track, tapping my shoulder when I reloaded too slow. His calm kept me together, but I saw his hands shaking when he thought I wasn't looking. Then, just before 8, the hospital doors blew open. I don't mean with an explosion. I mean the pressure finally broke. Dozens of them poured inside, bloody, limping, jaws snapping like broken hinges. Screams erupted from inside the ER, higher, sharper, then cut off like someone yanked a cord. Through the glass I saw shadows on the walls, arms flailing, blood spraying against the lights until it turned the windows dark. I lifted my cheek off the stock and shut my eyes, just for a second. That was all it took for the world to tilt. We're not holding this city. We're not holding anything. Parker's voice snapped me back. Door, stairwell, movement inside. I turned. The roof access door, a heavy steel slab at the center of the roof, shuddered once. Then again, something was on the other side, hitting it with rhythm, not fists. Shoulders, skulls. The sound carried through the concrete, a dull, steady boom, boom, boom. And we were trapped 6 stories up with nowhere else to go. The pounding on the door never stopped. It wasn't frantic, not like scared people trying to get out. It was steady, mindless. Boom, 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 like a drumbeat we couldn't turn off. Every time it hit, the hinges rattled, and I felt it in my boots through the concrete. Parker had the binos up, but I could tell he wasn't even looking through them anymore. He was listening, same as me, listening and waiting. Still holding, he muttered. I don't think he meant it for me. The city was almost pitch black now. A few fires painted the skyline red. The hospital itself glowed faint from backup generators, but inside, Christ. Every window I scoped was chaos. People pressed against glass, mouths wide, eyes too white. I watched a man slam his face against a third-floor window until the glass spider-webbed. Then he kept going until his forehead split. Blood smeared across the pane until he just slipped down out of sight. I had to look away. Down on the ER ramp, the guard line was gone. The Humvees sat abandoned with doors hanging open. One of them was still idling, headlights aimed at nothing. A shadow crawled across the hood, jerking, like it wasn't sure how to use its own legs. When it found the windshield, it started biting the glass, hard, over and over. I chambered around, brought the crosshairs up, and put one through its skull. The windshield spiderwebbed and collapsed inward, body slumping half through the frame. The Humvee lights just kept shining on it like it didn't matter. Parker didn't even say target down. He just exhaled. Long, shaky. By 9, the air had changed. Not just smell, though the stink of blood and rot was stronger, but the sound. No more scattered yelling, no more random car alarms, just that endless chorus rising from the streets. Moaning, wailing, teeth clicking. I couldn't tell if it was one voice or 1,000. That's when the radios died. No static, no chatter, just dead air. Parker fiddled with dials, hit the side, swapped batteries. Nothing. The silence that followed was worse than the screams. We sat with our backs to the parapet for a while, rifles across our knees, trying not to talk, trying not to think about how much ammo we had left. I kept counting in my head, then losing track and starting over. It was like my brain couldn't hold on to numbers anymore. A helicopter buzzed low overhead, black silhouette, no lights. It hovered just long enough to kick wind across the roof, then peeled off toward the bay. Didn't land, didn't drop a line, just left. Cowards, Parker muttered, but there wasn't any anger in it, just tired resignation. I spotted movement at the far edge of the lot below. A family, 3 of them, trying to run for the hospital. They didn't even get close. Something fast cut them down in the street. I couldn't tell what it was through the scope. Just a blur of arms and teeth and that awful jerking sprint. By the time I lined up, it was already over. The mother went down screaming, and the kid kept running alone until hands grabbed him from the dark. I lowered the rifle. My stomach felt like lead. Couldn't save them, Parker said, flat. Not our fight, but it was our fight. That's what kept chewing me up. We were Marines, trained to protect, to hold ground, and we were sitting on a roof, watching the world collapse, barely holding our own square of concrete. The pounding on the stairwell door grew louder just after 11. Metal buckled. Something shrieked underneath, animal raw. The crossbar bent inward. I found myself whispering, "Don't break, don't break, don't break," like saying it out loud might hold it together. Parker glanced at me. He didn't laugh, didn't judge. He just nodded once, like he understood. By midnight, the city had gone quiet in a way that scared me more than the noise. No more screaming, no gunfire, just the wind, the faint patter of rain, and the occasional boom against the door below us. The roof wasn't high ground anymore. It was a cage. And we both knew it was only a matter of time before that door gave way. The door gave just after 12:15, not all at once, just a shriek of metal, a hinge popping, a steel bar snapping like a gunshot. Then it slammed open so hard it rebounded off the wall and cracked back again. They poured out. First one, then 2, then a dozen. Stumbling, sprinting, jaws snapping. Their eyes were wide, glassy, teeth clacking as they rushed into the night air. The hospital roof went from silence to chaos in seconds. "Contact! Front!" Parker roared, voice louder than I'd ever heard. I dropped the MK-13 on its sling and went to pistol. First one rushed me, mouth foaming, arms stiff. I planted 2 rounds in his chest. Nothing. Third shot took his jaw clean off, but he still came forward, gurgling. Parker shoved him sideways with his carbine and put a burst into the temple. Brain sprayed across the gravel. The body folded against my boots. The stink hit me then, rot and iron. Hot breath right in my face. More kept coming. Too many. We moved in circles back to back, firing, reloading, firing again. Brass scattered underfoot. Every time I worked the slide, my thumb slipped on blood. Parker shouted distances out of habit. 10 meters left side. like it mattered. It didn't. They were already on top of us. One of them, a nurse still in scrubs, grabbed Parker's sleeve and pulled. He tore away, but not before her nails raked down his forearm. He jammed the butt of his rifle into her face so hard I felt the crack through the roof itself. "You hit?" I barked. "Surface," he snapped, already moving. He didn't look at it again. We tried to fall back toward the parapet, rifles barking in short, violent bursts. The MK-13 was useless in this mess. Too slow, too heavy. Still, when a pack started climbing the air handling unit, I shouldered it out of reflex. Crosshair lined on a forehead 10 feet away. Boom. Skull opened, body dropped back into the writhing pile. For a second it felt like control again. Math and precision. Then another face took its place, then another. We couldn't shoot fast enough. Parker tossed a flare across the roof. The red light burned through the dark, painting the swarm in hellfire, dozens of them, maybe more. Their shadows stretched up the walls like giant teeth. Some were already dragging themselves over the side railings, pulling up with raw strength, legs kicking. The high ground wasn't ours anymore. "Rope!" Parker shouted. "Now!" We kept a rappelling line coiled by the stairwell vent. Standard contingency. My hands fumbled with the carabiner, slick with sweat and blood. Every clang of metal felt like an alarm bell. One of them lunged while I worked the knot. A man in tattered camis, face half gone, teeth gnashing inches from my neck. I didn't think. I slammed the MK-13 muzzle under his chin and fired point blank. The recoil punched my shoulder like a sledgehammer. His head came apart and painted the gravel. My ears rang, high and sharp. The knot cinched, rope over the side. A 30-foot drop into Black Alley. No choice. "You first," Parker said. "No, we go together." "Go!" He shoved me, hard enough to make the decision for me. I clipped in, swung a leg over, and dropped. Hands burned against the rope, boots scraping wall. Halfway down, I glanced up. Parker was at the edge, carbine blazing, muzzle flashes strobing his face. Shadows swarmed around him. He fired until the magazine clicked empty. Then he drew his sidearm. The last thing I saw was him bracing against the parapet, screaming wordless rage as the swarm closed over him. I hit the alley hard, knees buckling, rolled, came up clutching the rifle like it could save me from the sound above. The endless tearing, gnashing, pounding. When I looked up, there was no Parker, just a red glow from the flare, flickering, bodies moving against it like ants over sugar. I ran. Through the alley, through the rain, past dumpsters and broken glass. My boots splashed through puddles slick with oil and blood. The city roared around me, alive in the worst way. Every window screamed. Every shadow twitched. I didn't stop until I found another rooftop to climb, another perch to hide on, panting, stomach in knots. I dropped the rifle beside me, hands trembling too hard to load another round. And when the sun finally edged over the horizon, pale and useless, I realized the truth that chewed through my chest harder than any of their teeth could. This wasn't the worst 12 hours. It was just the first.